Welcome back to LJ's Comic Borough. My name is Jay. I'm the host of the show, and tonight, yes, I do have a co-host. I'm going to let you know he is not a rescue. He is one of the very last ones we bought from Petco back maybe about 5 years ago, and that's before we decided that we're not getting any more from stores. We're going to help those that we won't be able to, defend for themselves and give those guys a good home. So this is one of the very last ones we did, and he actually was only given to us because the one we ended up buying, his name was Stitch. He ended up passing away, having heart problems. He was taken a little too early from his mother, and he was such a young baby. And he should have stayed with his mom a lot longer. But unfortunately, places like Petco and stuff, they just try to bring in babies just to sell. They really don't care about the animals that they have there. At least I feel with my dealing with them. Now you do have individuals that work there that love their animals, but the company itself, I just don't believe in, and that's just my personal opinion about it. That being said, first thing I ask you to do is like, subscribe, and please leave a comment. Best thing about doing this show is the interaction between me and my guests and my viewers here. I'd love to know what you guys are reading. I'd love to know what comic books you guys are right now collecting. What's your favorite superhero? What's your favorite villain? I also like to know. I mean, if you're not into that, what books are you guys reading out there? I mean, is it something killing the children? I mean, is it Spawn? What are you guys into? Marvel, DC, Boom, Image. I'd love to be able to talk about it. And after that being said, let's get on to my special guest host. He is my little boy. I absolutely love this little boy. And he is a terror around the house. He's my little chunky monkey. And his name is Blade. And like I said, the only reason we ended up getting him, and he ended up being like the last one in his cage, was because, unfortunately, Stitch passed away, I think, 2 weeks after we got him. Very young age. He was so super young, but he was so full of life for the 2 weeks we had him. And unfortunately, we did not know what was going on. And I was so lucky to get such a great boy that absolutely loves and adores me. So, like I said, y'all say hi to Blade. Hello. So, let him get back to sleep, because this is pretty early in the morning for him, and I'm sure he's a little tired. Now, the show I actually had planned for you guys today was kind of botched. Unfortunately, I was supposed to do a box opening from my local comic book store, Four Corners. Unfortunately, the owner of the company ended up hurting her back, and she was unable to get the package sent out in time. So I'm still waiting for that package. So eventually, when I do get it, we will have a Four Corners unboxing, which I absolutely love, because it's been several months since I actually got comics from them. As you can tell if you scroll through, it's been a couple months since I got a box opening from them. So I'm looking forward to seeing what comics I actually picked up. But what we ended up getting around here is somewhere in these stacks. I ended up picking up a New York Comic Con exclusive. My wife picked up a New York Comic Con exclusive, and the other two were Whatnot apps. So it'll be pretty interesting to be able to open up and see what's going on in these. Now, two of them are my wife's. The other two are mine. So it'll be interesting to see what she actually picked up. I wish there was a way to be able to fast forward and stuff like that and go, ooh, what's that? But unfortunately, let's pass forward time. All right. With the magic of pausing, All my boxes are now open, so I actually get to reveal the comics that my wife and I ended up picking up. So let's get to my very first box, and cool. This is first appearance of, or should say, it's basically the first meeting of Spider-Man and Moon Knight. It's Peter Parker and Spectacular Spider-Man number 22. This was actually on one of my grails that I wanted to pick up because I'm a huge fan of that gentleman right there and this gentleman right here. So to be able to have the first meeting of this is kind of like having the first meeting of Spider-Man and Deadpool. I'd love to be able to see them do something with these two, but I don't think they'd be able to get along enough, and they're not opposite enough to be able to make it interesting. So it's just pretty cool to be able to have that very first meeting. So hope you guys thought that was pretty cool. Oh. I know some people collect newsstands. I collect newsstands, so. Second box, which is open already. At least I thought it was. Thought my wife looked at hers. I'm sure she had fun. Look at bubble wrap the whole damn thing. She said she picked up 2 books on one, and she did. This is the Fall of X. Looks like X-Men 26. With Frost on the cover, which is a pretty cool cover. We also had a baby named Frost, and unfortunately she passed away. So this is a nice memory for her. Now we do have lots of pictures of Frost, but this was, a nice. This is the character she was named after, so it's nice to have a cover that we possibly maybe get graded or something like that, because that is definitely a fucking awesome cover. Yes. Who can? Now, what my wife told me that she actually paid for this is pretty remarkable, especially how old it is. So, this is X-Men number 45, and she said she paid $20 for it. So, I'm pretty sure that there might be, like, I haven't got a chance to actually look over these myself. Just noticing that there's definitely some spine issues and stuff like that. But for as old as this is actually a pretty beautiful book. And her being such a huge X-Men fan, this is I think her second original X-Men comic that she got. The first one I bought for her birthday. First 2. So this is the third. So she now has 3 original X-Men. 2 I think by one by Roy Thomas, and 2 by 2 other writers that ended up taking over after Roy Thomas left the X-Men. So, but either way, this is a beautiful artwork, and I don't know what she's going to end up doing with this, but it's definitely a nice pickup for $20. I mean, Jesus. All right. Next book. Oh, okay. This is her New York Comic Con exclusive. Now, we didn't get to go to New York Comic Con. We did make it to the Baltimore one. So, I know I picked up a San Diego Comic Con exclusive watching the Whatnot app, which is a great place to watch. When a Comic Con is going on, if you want an exclusive from that event, best time to do is to watch it. Is to watch Whatnot during that time. You will definitely pick up something just from those shows. And wow, this is really sealed. I mean, they really sealed the shit out of this book. I mean, how are you supposed to eventually collect it? Like, you gotta pop all the buttons. You gotta get all the pops out of it before you. Alright. But it's always really a good idea to watch the Whatnot app just for those exclusives. That being said, this is a beautiful book. Now, we do have a few Do You Poo books, but this is definitely one of those that I know she talked about wanting to get graded. This is Do You Poo Wolverine, number 1. So, and if you ever looked inside these, they're actually just the comic book they represent with the Pooh characters. So this is inside here is probably Wolverine number 1 with Pooh. But that is beautiful. It's nice. It's shiny. Love that artwork. And I love the foil. Amazing. So this is definitely one of those really cool books that I know she was talking about getting graded. And yes, we slab. I know a lot of people have issues with slabbing. Ours is to preserve. Ours isn't to make any money or whatever. Now, don't get me wrong. We have a couple books that we do have on eBay to sell, but they're just books that we actually personally just didn't want, and we picked up kind of just as a last minute. And that book would be kind of cool. So that's the reason why we're getting rid of those. Our books are actually just to preserve, just to sit there and be able to look at and know that they're going to last a lot longer than probably we are on this earth. Kind of sad feeling. Then again, it's a nice thing to be able to pass down to our kids. Now, if they ever want to sell, instead of keeping that collection, that'll be personally them, and it would be a lot easier for them to get rid of. So. But I know that's one of her favorite books that she picked up from the New York Comic Con. So, which means this is mine, which I am really happy about. I absolutely love this, and I love the cover that they did for this. Now, the only other cover that I would have thought would have been the original, but it would have been the nice shiny version of it. But that thing was going for a little bit more money than I was willing to spend. Which was fine, because I ended up picking up the cover that I ended up looking at first, thinking to myself, holy shit, I absolutely love that cover. And yes, you really got to tear off those stupid fucking poppy bubbly things, which is fun for later, I guess. And this is, wow, I love this. My New York Comic Con selection was Swamp Thing. Now, this is the Swamp Thing number 1 with a new cover. I absolutely love how they did the foil. Beautiful, shiny green. I love the name, and it's not just, it's embroidered, which is really cool. So, this is what I ended up picking up from New York Comic Con. Now, I got my eye on a couple other New York Comic Con selections, but it probably won't be for a little bit before I pick those up, because my new comic book day is coming up this Saturday, and I already know that I got like 29 books to have to ended up having to pick up, and probably 25 of those I'm supposed to read. So, but either way, amazing cover. Now, I will get this graded, because I will never probably own a Swamp Thing number 1, so this is probably the closest thing that I'll ever get. Plus, I love the shiny covers. Those foil covers to me look fucking amazing, especially in the light. So having a couple of those little hanging up around my wall fucking looks awesome. That being said, actually that's all the comics that I have to show for the night. So before I go, let me reintroduce you to my very special co-host, my awesome, amazing little boy, and the little boy that pretty much stole my heart when I brought him home. I was just so sad when I lost when I lost my other little boy, and they gave him to me as though like, here's like second best, but to me this little boy has become first best. He's an amazing, awesome best friend for me. He was there when I needed him when Stitch did pass away. So I want to reintroduce you to my fat boy, Blade. And boy, he's a vampire, just like the comic. Except he doesn't go after me. He goes after his mom, or goes after one of the kids. He definitely has shown that he is very loyal to me, so I appreciate that. And soon it'll be like soup time for him. I'll reward him for being such a good boy. So, from all of us to all of you, and from him too, I want to say I hope you guys have a great week. Keep reading your comic books. And make sure, if you go to get an animal, please go down to your local rescues. Check them out. I'm sure they're probably just like mine, filled to the brim, waiving all fees. Just do your research before you get any other animal. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a wonderful day. And if I can pause it.